Hi guys, today I'm doing a video about this. This is the Galaxy Gear Active 2. Actually, it's just a Gear Active 2. It's a Samsung smartwatch that I got last year. It's about a year that I got already. And I have been using it every single day. By the way, this is not my first smartwatch, it's my third. The first one I had was the very boxy, I even forgot the name. It was the boxy Samsung watch, the very thick one. But that was cool at the time because it was the first watch I ever had with an AMOLED screen, and I really dug it. It was I could control music. I could look at photos. But obviously it was not like a watch. It was very thick. And charging was a hassle because I needed to connect that white watch to a charging plate and put the micro USB cable inside. Yeah, at the time there was no wireless charging, so and then I fixed that to the back of the watch. Then after that I got the Gear S2 that was a lot better. It looked like a regular watch. It was just like this, but there was a moving bezel. I'm sure a lot of you, if you follow smartwatches, you have seen that. It had a rotating bezel, a physical one, and as you went around the watch face, it would change. And so this is kind of like a deviation. It's like a brother, I would say, of the Gear S2 Sport. I had the Gear S2 Sport, not the Classic, because I didn't like the Classic. It was too big with the ridges and everything. And when this came out, I tried it in the store, and despite having the Gear S2 for 3 years, I decided to get this last year. And the reason is simple, is because this looks a lot slimmer than the Gear S2. There is no physical rotating bezel, and I thought that would be a problem, but because of the digital bezel, it just makes the whole thing look so clean, and the glass is curved. So even like when I sit in the office, there's a managing director who's right behind me. This watch catches his eye, and there are people who've been asking me what kind of smartwatch I'm using, because well, apart from the usual Apple Watch, this is the only, Samsung is the only other maker the mainstream maker of smartwatches. So I just tell them that I have this, and I really like it. It's been with me for, as I said, a year now, and I've downloaded several watch faces for it. And you can see here that you can cycle through all these watch faces and download as many as you want. But unfortunately, I've maxed out my memory space. So even though there was a new update for it just last week, I haven't been able to update mine because I need to delete some items here. Another reason why I have a lot of stuff on here is because I take a lot of pictures and I place them in my watch. So like something on my recent vacation, I would upload it and I can view it, and I could trash it, or I could move on. I could read the news on it. I can watch YouTube videos on it, even though they're slow. And this news feed is actually quite useful. So pity that it doesn't actually let you view the entire article. It only gives you the preview of the article, and then you push a button and it goes to your phone. So that is something you want to consider. It has message reading function. Oops, come on. It has a message reading function, and there's only 2 buttons here. One is the home button and one is the back button, so it's really hard for you to get lost in it. The calendar is pretty useful. The calendar app is pretty useful. You can cycle through it. It lets you know the day of the month really easily, and it lets you know your schedule that you created in Google. Right? This is a watch for Android phones, so I don't think it works with Apple phones, but it probably should. But obviously, if you're buying this, you probably have an Android phone, or if you're thinking about buying this. It measures your heart rate, And you can use it for exercise too. So some people say it's not as accurate as a dedicated fitness band, but I find it's just good for me when I'm on the treadmill. I usually take it off if I'm doing a really vigorous run, but if I'm just walking or doing slow jogging, then I find this is fun. This is fine, because anything more than that, when my wrist gets sweaty and all that, I just don't like having anything like sticking to me, like anything in my body. So I usually, take this off. What else do I have to say about this? The weather function is really useful. The alarm function is useful. You can set, well, like other watches, you can set it to wake. The brightness, it gets really bright. It gets brighter than the Gear S2 watch. Of course, like all other, as the smartphones and phones get more advanced, they get brighter and brighter. And of course, the darkness is AMOLED darkness, so you can set it from like 10 maximum brightness to 1 minimum brightness at night. It can take phone calls too. Oh yeah, I forgot. You can take phone calls as well. You can put it on your wrist, and you can be talking of it. Hey, I'm over here. Meet me somewhere, right? So that's another thing that if you want to look cool, you can actually talk into your watch. I didn't get the LTE version, but you can get something with a SIM card. A nano SIM card inside, I believe, and you can just slot it in, and you don't even need it to be tethered to a phone. You will be able to use it to dial someone directly. It has a night mode and airplane mode. It's just like a mini smartphone actually. So you can use Wi-Fi on it. You can connect. You can play music from it. I haven't tried it yet. And you can use it as a flashlight. There's a flashlight icon here that you may want to use it for in airplane mode. So all of these functions are pretty much the same as a phone, but miniaturized, and it's actually really cool. There's a little watermark here, so if you happen to drop your phone your watch in water, this mark will alert you to that. When the battery runs really low, I've never had any problems with the battery running low because this has 2-day battery life, and I normally come home every day. I don't spend the night outside, so I get home, I take a shower, I throw it on the charging pad. It's a very simple charging pad. It's circular, and you just put it there. It charges in less than an hour, maybe, I don't know. Once you get out of the shower, it will be almost full. And so I've never had to worry about battery life at all for the last year. And it also goes with the smartphone charging too, so you can also use your phone to charge it very slowly, because smartphones the Galaxy phones do take a long time to charge stuff, but I have the battery that I'm using to power this light here. But if you have this Samsung wireless charger, you can just throw the phone on here. It'll charge quickly. In less than an hour, you should be at maximum charge. So that's another cool feature of wireless charging with this watch. Other things you can do, you can listen to music, you can mute it, and are there any other apps that you can use for... Oh, you can use it to control Spotify as well, though I don't use it to do that because sometimes it doesn't sync. It doesn't sync perfectly. But I think that's more to do with the app than the watch itself. But Spotify, you will be using it on your phone, and technically a properly functioning app will be able to sense every time you skip to the next song or so. But this Spotify app on the watch is stuck at the last time you used the watch. So if you're 10 songs behind on the watch, it'll stay that way. So that's why I don't really use Spotify on it. There is a music app that you could play music natively from the watch. So if you don't have your phone around, you can also use this to play music when you're out jogging. Oh, one really cool feature of the watch that I didn't have before in my previous smartphones is Samsung Pay. So you would enter your PIN. Obviously, you would need to set up a PIN and set up credit cards into Samsung Pay, and it takes a while. It takes about 2 to 3 seconds, but oops, it will show your credit card. You just tap pay, and NFC mark comes. Oops, come on, focus. Yeah, the NFC mark comes, and the watch starts vibrating. It vibrates for about 60 seconds. Time enough to give you to tap your wrist on whatever NFC terminal that is close by to you, and you can just pay for your purchase. And it gives you an option to at the 20-second mark to extend it. So that's really useful as well. The only bad thing I can say about Samsung Pay on this watch is that it takes a while, especially if you haven't used it. So it's not instantaneous like the phone. Like with my phone, I can just tap and I don't need to enter any apps or anything, and the phone can automatically pay for my subway rides or my bus rides or my food or anything that accepts NFC payments. But for this one, you have to actually open the app, wait for it for 2 to 3 seconds, enter your PIN. The PIN doesn't need to be entered every time. It'll remember it for a couple of hours, but obviously if you haven't used it for like a whole day or something, you will be asked to enter your PIN, and then you would tap it on whatever terminal you use. So that's another cool feature of this watch here, and that is why I have not gone back to regular watches in like 5 years. I've been using smartwatches for 5 years now. It's, Samsung smartwatches. I used to use Sony ones, but they weren't smartwatches. They were those black and white e-paper bands. I don't even know if you can consider them smartwatches. So I consider this a smartwatch, obviously. So this has worked very well for me, and I don't see myself upgrading anytime soon. I know they released a new watch like during this pandemic, like 1 or 2 months ago. But yeah, seriously, there's nothing broken with it. So I don't see the reason to upgrade unless I see, I don't know, maybe it has a very, very skinny profile. I mean, if they could make it slimmer, but obviously with the new models they haven't. Like slimness is one of the most important things for me on a watch. Like you don't want something like bulging out, sticking out, and off your wrist. And I think the curved glass of this really helps with this illusion of being slim. Obviously, it is way thicker than a regular watch. Like I used to use Skagen watches, or Bering. I like those Bering watches where it's just like, I don't know, 2 millimeters thin. I used to use those very thin watches, and I thought, they look really slim and svelte on your wrist, and this is kind of like a smartphone version of it. Obviously, you can't compare it with that, but because of the curved sides and the glass reflections, there's an optical illusion of making it so much slimmer. And there's so many features on this watch that I would never go back to a regular watch. Battery life, notifications coming in. Obviously, if your phone is set to receive notifications all the time, you may find them a big pain when you're working. And you can just turn them off, or you can choose which apps to allow yourself to get notified. I mean that you allow to notify yourself. Step counter, I like the step counter a lot because it motivates me to walk. And whenever I hit 8,000 or 10,000 steps, whatever your target is, it shows up a cute little animation like, congratulations, you have reached your target for the day. So that's motivating, and it keeps a track record of it for 1 week. And every week it tells you whether or not you walked more or less than other weeks. As I scroll through, let me just see if there's any apps I can recommend you. Samsung Pay is a big one. Oh yes, there's Bixby that I never use. There is the Galaxy Store that is fun to use on the watch, but you would much rather, I would much rather be using it on my phone to download apps to the watch and then use it from the watch, because obviously it's a lot faster. Yeah, but that's about it. I just like the look and feel of this, and whenever I'm bored, I download a new watch clock face, and it looks like a new one. Oh, there's voice memo here. Now, voice memo is cool because you can actually use it to secretly tape people's conversations. No, I'm just joking. But seriously, if you ever were in a meeting and you wanted to remember what someone was saying, you forgot, what they were saying after the meeting, you could always, you know, record what they said during the meeting, and it will all come back, right? And no one would be the wiser. So that is really useful. Calculator is very cool on a watch as well, right? So if you don't have your phone handy, or you don't want to bring your phone out of your pocket, you can use calculator to I don't know, figure out how much to pay for a meal when you split bills between friends when you call for the check. That's about it. Let me show you the app real quick. It's called the Wearables app. So you would go into this. You can focus here. Yep, it's a wearable app right here. So if you tap that, then you would, right? There's an option. I have the Galaxy Buds 2, Buds Plus, and I have the watch. So select the watch, and all the faces that I've downloaded appear here. And I can scroll, and I can explore all the different faces. There are a lot of neat free clock faces, watch faces here, and there are a lot of paid ones too. So tons of options, and each one is only about $1.50. So it's very, very interesting, and yeah, it runs on Tizen, so Samsung's own platform. But I never had an issue with any of the watches. There are some games you can download here too, but I don't really download any other applications. Maps could be useful, but then again, for me, I just don't. There's cryptocurrencies, there's smoke control, there's flashlights, Fruit Ninja. They have Fruit Ninja on your watch. That's cool. Yeah, actually, I should probably download that Fruit Ninja Plus. Yeah, so that's $134. You got to pay $1 plus for this. Okay, wait, scratch that. I don't really need it. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you if this helped you, and this this menu here is you can use Find Your Watch. Oh, Find Your Watch is really exciting here. So if you lose your watch, you can use your phone to find your watch, and of course you can use your watch to find your phone. You can add music, this part, add content to your watch. So you can tap on this to add all the, all the audio tracks or all the images you want to see off on your watch when when you're at a dinner party. I mean, not now, of course, but in future when they find a vaccine, you could add that, and you could just show it to your friends, right? Or if you have small home gatherings now, you could do that. Yeah, the app tells you as well how much battery life is remaining. So for me, I have 94% battery life, and that would be 19 hours, 13 minutes, right? So it's almost a full 2 days, right? So it's about 20 plus hours at a full charge. But that's after I've used this for a year. So obviously it'll degrade with time, but I'm hoping to use it for, I don't know, 3 years like I did the S2 Plus. Unless something even better comes out, then I may change. But anyway, this was the Gear Active 2. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Hopefully you can subscribe, or if you want to see other kinds of videos, related videos, let me know in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thanks, and have a great day. Bye.